Okay, good morning, everyone. Yes. So, yes, online students. So, can you able to? Yes. Okay. Okay. So yesterday I said, good morning, everyone. Yes. So yesterday it was a first class where I said you about what you're learning in Python. So this is what I said. Your course title. What is the course title? Is Python, which is include core Python as well as what advanced Python. So that include NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. Along with that, you are doing some two projects. One is a project using database and GUI, and one more project is using NumPy and Pandas. So you are not only doing the course, you're also preparing for what interview, right? So, and not only that, you'll be working on different platforms like Hackers Rank, Hackerset, CodeChef. And I said every day classroom notes will be uploaded in Google Classroom. Once the batch is formed, I said, who can do this course? Anyone can do this course. And the duration of this, there is no prerequisites. For learning Python, you don't require to know like C, C++, no, not required anything. You can start the way how you start learning C language. In the same way, you can start learning what? Python. So Python is a beginner's language, right? So, and I said duration of your course is 2 to 2.5 months it will take. And class timings, I said 7 to 8:45. Because of demo classes, I'm starting a little bit late. But once demo classes are completed, we'll have the class on time. Okay, see, these are not demo classes. All these are regular classes only. I don't repeat this class again tomorrow, right? Okay, all these are regular classes. And this is my Telegram ID. You can join this Telegram ID where I'll be posting job job openings and interview related questions and some notes. Okay. Yes. So this is my Telegram ID. You can join this Telegram ID. And I said, why are you learning Python? Okay. Why are you learning Python? Not because of it is easy. Yesterday I said, why are you learning Python? Not because of easy. You are learning Python because to get the job. Okay. But as a fresher, is it Python is enough? Yes. But if you want to get a job quickly, you have to do some combinations like Python with AWS plus Microsoft Azure and DevOps. Now this is suitable for IT people as well as non-IT people. And you can also do Python with PyTest or Selenium, which is used for testing or automation. Okay. So this is also suitable for IT people as well as non-IT. Then next one is full stack Python developer. So this is a web development where you have to learn Python, HTML, JavaScript, CSS, Bootstrap, Angular, Django, and REST API. And there is one more thing, Python with data science, Python with big data, and Python with AI. That is artificial intelligence, which is called as machine learning. So these are some combinations. And if you do these combinations, you can get the job easily, right? But as a fresher level, Python is enough. But if you want to get the job in the industry, you have to do some combinations. Okay, if you want to get the job in industry, you have to do some combinations. And this is what I explained yesterday, right? And if you want to complete your course early, like you want to complete in 1 month, what you can do is, okay, if you want to complete your course in 1 month, then you can attend parallelly, like core Python in this batch and advanced Python you can attend in another batch. Okay, so that you can complete your course as early as possible. Okay, suppose the students, those who don't have much time, you have only 1 month at 1 month of time and you want to do both in 1 month. Then you can attend core Python in one batch and you can attend advanced Python in another batch, so that you can do it. Okay. Okay. Then next is now let us move into, and even I showed the syllabus. This is our syllabus. This is our syllabus copy. Yes, this is a syllabus here. Okay. Now this course is designed for everyone, those who don't know anything about computers. Okay, it is not designed in the view of the students, those who are already having some knowledge. No, this course is designed for beginners also. So initially you are starting with introduction to, initially you're starting with introduction to languages, and then you are moving to introduction to Python, and after that Python softwares, and then Python language fundamentals, and different modes of working with the Python, and Python variables, operators, input and output statements, control statements. You can see after, after each chapter, you can see some case studies. After each chapter, you can find some case studies. Now this case studies, you have to do it. So I'll be giving some case studies and you have to solve those case studies. And after the data structures or collections, like where you'll be learning strings, list, and tuple, set, dictionaries. And after that, you're moving to functions. And after the functions, there is a Python modules and packages. So your up to packages comes under core Python. Up to packages comes under what? Core Python. From object oriented onwards, it comes in advanced Python. So there is object orientation, exception handling, regular expressions, files and directories handling. So Python logging, date-time module, OS module, multi-threading, garbage collection, Python database communication, Python networking, okay, Kinter, and data analytics modules, and introduction to what? Django. And this is the elaborated content of NumPy and what? Pandas. This is useful for ETL. Yes, Pandas and data science, Pandas and NumPy, these both are called data science tools. Now, if you are planning to move to data science, you'll be learning Pandas and NumPy. And this Pandas and NumPy also include Matplotlib, which is called as data visualization. Okay, now this is your elaborated content, right? So here I'm uploading this content in the chat window. Those who are online, I'm uploading this in chat window, so you can download it. And already I uploaded this in the Telegram. Okay, already I uploaded in this in Telegram. Okay, yes. Okay, now let us start with the, yes. This is a course introduction. This is a course introduction. I think you understood what you're learning, right? Yes. And fees details and everything, online students, they'll intimate. They'll intimate. Okay. Yes. So without this, now let us move into our first chapter. Okay, let us move into the first chapter. Okay, this is my Telegram ID. So what is my Telegram ID is now, this is Telegram ID. Telegram ID is, I said no. So code with Sadesh Gupta. This is my Telegram ID. Okay, this is my Telegram ID. Code with Sadesh Gupta. This is my Telegram ID. So every day I'll be posting some questions and everything in Telegram. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay, let us move into first chapter. In the first chapter, you are not learning anything about Python. Okay, in first chapter, you are not learning anything about Python. In first chapter, you are learning introduction to what? Languages. So you are learning about Python in second chapter, because in order to understand introduction to Python, first of all, you should know introduction to languages. Okay, languages. So what you're learning in first chapter is, now this is a content, introduction to languages. Here you are learning what is language and types of languages. Yeah, you can put in chat window. If any questions are there, you can put in chat window. If any questions are there, you can put in chat window. I'll try to answer it. And after the class, if you have any queries, you can put in Telegram. After the class, if you have any queries, you can put in Google Classroom. Okay, Google Classroom is also there. How many days this online course of Python continues? Until it is completed. No, you don't require to write any notes, because if you write the notes, it is good. Okay. If it is notes, it should be good, right? Okay. No recording sessions are given. No recording sessions are given. Okay. Yes. You have to come to the class regularly and you have to write it. And if I'm asking any questions, you have to answer it, right? So let us start with introduction to languages. Yes. So Naresh Shetty is also having a placement cell, right? Naresh Shetty also having a placement cell. And if any openings are there, I'll just put in Telegram and they'll inform me. And it will be put in Google Classroom also whenever there is a job opening, right? Okay. Yes. Now let us begin with first chapter. Okay. Yes. Now see, what you're learning in first chapter is introduction. Introduction means, okay, introduction means now you are trying to do like this. So what you're learning here is, yes. So these are the things what you're learning in first chapter. So started with what is language and types of languages, introduction to translators, there's a compiler and what is interpreter, and what is a scripting language and what is the types of scripting languages, and programming languages and scripting languages, and what is programming paradigm, and what is procedural oriented programming, and what is object oriented programming. Okay, what is a procedural oriented programming and what is object oriented programming, right? So this is what you're learning in first chapter. Now let us begin with, okay, let us begin with what is a languages, right? Yes. So meanwhile, these notes I'll upload in Telegram. Okay, meanwhile, all these notes I'll upload in the Telegram. Until unless the classroom is not created, I'll try to upload these notes in the classroom. Okay, right. Okay, now let us start with what is a language and types of languages. Okay, for example, yes. So I don't start directly Python because I say no, this course is designed for the people. Once it is created, I'll share it here. It's not created. Okay, classroom is not created. Once it is created, I'll share it. Okay, yes. So try to listen the class. Just concentrate. Just concentrate. Just concentrate. Okay, it is very easy. Just concentrate and learn the things perfectly. Okay, yes. Now let us talk about, first we'll start with what is a language. Let us start with the what is language. So what is a language? Suppose in order to have a communication between, okay, in order to have a communication between two people, okay, there is a person A, okay, there are two persons. One is person A, okay, one is a person A, and there is one more person which is called as B. In order to have a communication between A and B, you require one mediator. Okay. In order to have a communication between A and B, what you require? A mediator. And what is that mediator here? Language, right? What is that mediator here? Language. Now A uses one language to communicate with what? B, and B uses one language. B uses one language to communicate with what? A. So it means this both the people are communicating with each other by using one language. The languages which understand by humans, okay, the languages which understand by humans are called as natural languages. The languages which understand by the humans are called as which one? Natural languages. These are not rule based. For example, there is English, okay, and there is a Hindi, okay, okay, there is a Tamil like this, okay, there is a, okay, Marathi like this. There is a different languages, but these are the languages which understand by whom? Humans. Okay, so language acts as a mediator between one person and what? Another person. But the languages which understand by the languages which understand by the humans are called as which languages? Natural languages. In the same way, when you're talking about computer, right? When you're talking about computer, computer is there. Is it computer is only hardware or not? Yes. A computer is an electronic device. That is what you learn in schools, right? What is a computer? Is an electronic device. It is only collection of hardware. It is an electronic device, or it is a calculating device. It is an electronic device, or it is a calculating device, right? Computer is an electronic device, or it is a calculating device which can perform certain operations. But computer cannot think by itself. Computer cannot think by itself, right? Suppose if I want my computer should perform certain operations, I should tell the computer do this and do this. Until unless I don't instruct, until unless I don't instruct the computer, until unless I don't instruct the computer to do this, then my computer will not do it. It means computer having a brain. Computer is having a brain, but it cannot think. It is having a brain. What is a brain here? Brain of the computer is what? Processor. Computer is having a brain, but it cannot think by itself. Computer is having a brain, but it cannot think. But in order to think, I have to give some instructions. I should tell the computer, okay, do this, and do this. In order to instruct the computer, I required one mediator. In order to instruct the computer, in order to instruct the computer, in order to communicate with the computer, I required one mediator. And what is that mediator here? Language. The languages which understand by computer, the languages which understand by the computer are called, the languages which understand by the computer are called formal languages. Okay, the languages which understand by computer are called which languages? Formal languages. The languages which understand by the human are called which languages? Natural languages. So these languages are not, these languages doesn't follow any rules and regulations. But formal languages follow certain rules and regulations. For example, there is a languages like C, okay, C++. There's a language called Java. There's a language called which one? Pascal. Okay, Pascal. There is a language called Python. There's a language called C Sharp, .NET, like this. So all these are which languages? Formal languages. So why we are using all these languages? We are using these languages in order to communicate with what? Computer. Why we are communicating with the computer? We are communicating with the computer to perform certain operations. So my computer will not perform any operations. I have to give the instructions to my computer. And I'm giving the instructions to the computer by using one mediator called which one? Language. So what is a language here? Now comes to the question here. Tell me, what is a language? Language. Now you tell me the definitions. I'll write it. What is a language? Language. What is a language? Language. Interaction between the user and language acts as an interface, acts as a mediator. Okay, now language acts as a mediator between language acts as a mediator between user and computer. Language acts as a mediator between user and computer. Language is a software. Language itself is what? Software which provide set of instructions in order to perform some operations. See, I'm not talking about Python. I'm talking about languages. I'm not talking about Python. I'm talking about languages. Because suppose if I start directly with the Python, what is Python means? I'll tell you Python is a language. I'll say what is Python means? Python is a language. Then Python is which type of language? I'll say Python is high level language. Python is object oriented language. Python is a language, but it is also having some of the features of scripting language. Then you should know what is the difference between a language and what is the difference between language and scripting language. So that's the reason I'm not telling directly what is Python is. I started with what is language. I started directly with what is a language, and after this chapter we'll be talking about what is Python is. Okay, what is Python and where Python is used, what are the applications of Python. Okay, what kind of projects you can develop in Python, which companies are using Python, There is a big companies using what? Python. There are so many applications written in Python. There are so many applications written in what? Python. Okay. One of the thing is, for example, there are so many things are there developed in Python. For example, you know Pinterest. Pinterest, you know it. What is Pinterest? Pinterest is there, right? Pinterest is what? Pinterest, when you open any images, can you find the images in Pinterest or not? Yes. It is a web application. Pinterest is a web application or not? Yes. You know Pinterest is completely written in which language? Python, Django. For example, if you take Instagram also. Instagram is written Instagram is made in or built on which language or made in which language? You can see Instagram is completely written in which language? Python. You can see in Instagram, the world biggest online photo sharing application. Okay, Instagram, the world's biggest online photo sharing application, uses Python on its backend. According to the Instagram engineering team, Instagram currently features the world's largest deployment of the Django web framework. Django, I said yesterday, if you want to become a web developer in Python, you have to learn Python. Along with that, you have to learn which one? Django. Then you will become what? Web developer. Okay, which is completely written in which language? Python language. Getting or not? So this is one of the biggest photo sharing application or not? Yes. Now this one is completely written in which language? Python. So there are so many companies out there which are using Python. See, 10 famous websites built using Python. Top 10. Top 10 web are famous web applications which are written in what? Python. We'll discuss all these things so that you can understand what is the strength of Python. You're not using a Python for adding two numbers. Okay, you are not using a Python for finding even numbers or what? Odd numbers. You are using a Python for developing some beautiful applications. And developing applications using Python is easy. That is where even non-technical people also like using which one? Python. Non-technical people, even they like Python because less coding. You don't require to write lengthy of programs. No, don't require to write lengthy of programs. For example, non-technical person who's come from civil or mechanical, okay, so they may huddle to write lengthy of coding. Okay, so they want to write everything in one statement or two statements. One statement or what is that? Two statements. Now that makes it Python to achieve everything in less number of lines of code. And Python is fully loaded. Everything is available in Python. You don't require to write anything. Everything is provided by which one? Python. Everything is provided by Python. It means it is just like a ready-made noodles. So what you do it is it's a ready-made, right? 5 minutes. You cook it and eat it. Everything is provided, right? Okay. So here Python is also fully loaded. Everything is available in Python. You cannot say that I cannot do this in Python. You cannot say that I cannot do this in Python. Suppose if C developer or C++ developer or Java developer, they may say that, okay, I cannot do this in Python. I cannot do this in Java or C++. For example, Java is there. Java is so popular only for web development. Most of the jobs in Java is only web development. But Python jobs you can find in every area. Either it is in data science or it is in artificial intelligence or it is in testing. It is in testing or automation. It is in cloud. It is in gaming development. It is in web development. It is mobile development. Everywhere you can find Python. It means once you complete the Python, there are different streams. There are different paths out there. So whichever path you choose it, you can get the job in Python. Suppose after completing Java, what is next? Suppose if you're planning for Java, I'm not telling because I will also teach Java. Okay, there is two streams out there. One is Java stream and one more is Python. Okay, what to learn? Some students, they will have some confusion like whether I should go to Java, whether I should go to what? Python. Okay, some question mark will be there, whether I should learn Java or whether should I learn Python. So Java means only web development. So suppose you want to learn Java, then you have to learn Java, core Java, advanced Java, okay, Spring Hibernate, okay, Spring Hibernate, microservices. You have to learn so many things. If you want to become a full stack Java developer, it takes 1 year because you have to learn those many number of courses. It means that will take a lot of time. Getting or not? But I'm saying no, there is, I mean, if it comes to the Python, right? Okay, Python, you learn Python in 2 months. And 1 month, 45 days you spend on AWS or DevOps. Okay, or 1 month or 45 days you spend on data science, or 2 months. Okay, 1 month or 2 months you spend on AI. Okay, 1 month or 2 months you spend on Django and REST API. Or 1 month or 2 months you spend on Selenium or PyTest. 1 month or 2 months you spend on what is it, big data. Then you can easily get into which field? Software engineering field. I mean, this is easiest way to enter into what? Software industry. Getting on it, but you have a less competition. Okay, less competition is there. Then obviously you can get the job easily. Now, most of my students get the job in Python as a fresher level. I posted so many things in what is my Telegram. So many students got the job as a fresher level, not learning AWS or anything, only with the Python. Only with the Python. So there is openings for Python developer also. Okay. Yes, no problem. So what is the language? So language acts as a mediator between user and computer, and language is a software. See, languages are used for developing what? Applications. Languages are used for developing applications, right? Languages are used for developing which one? Applications. Applications are what is that? Softwares. Applications are softwares. Languages are used for developing applications, or what is that? Softwares. And these languages are different types of programming languages. Types of programming languages. You come across different types of programming languages. So generally programming languages are classified into two categories. One is low level languages and one more is high level languages, right? The languages are classified into two categories. Now this is second definition. Okay, types of programming languages. These are two types. One is low level and one more is what? High level. Yes. So what is a language? Come on here, tell me what is language? Language acts as what here? Mediator between the user and computer. Language is a hardware or software? Language is a hardware or software? Software. What it provides? Some set of instructions. Language is a software. Suppose if I want to work with the C language, I have to install which software? C software. If I want to work with the C++, I have to install which software? C++. If I want to work with the Python, I have to install which software? Python software. So it means language is one software or not? Yes. What it is providing? Some set of instructions. Okay. And using these instructions, what you can do? You can develop applications or you can develop softwares. So these programming languages are two types. One is called as a low level languages and one more is what? High level languages. Okay, one is a low level languages. Low level languages. So what is this low level languages here is the programming languages understand by computer or computer understandable languages or machine understandable languages. Sorry, computer understandable languages or machine understandable languages are called which languages? Low level. These are called low level languages. So this low level languages are two here. One is a machine language and one more is what? Assembly language. Okay, low level languages are two types. One is called as a machine language and one more is what? Assembly language. Okay, machine language and one more is a assembly language. So these are called as native languages. These are called as which one? Native languages. The programming languages understood by computer. Computer understandable languages are called as a low level languages. Okay, so actually I used to write on a board, but I'm not using board because this class is online as well as offline. Okay, now nowadays what happened is lecturers are not using board, students are not using notebook. Yes or no? Okay, because everything is online. Okay, everything is uploaded in Google Classroom. Even exam also they are writing in Google Classroom only. Question paper is uploaded in Google Classroom. Kids, what kids are doing nowadays? Okay, they're just listening the class. Okay, and question paper is uploaded in Google Classroom. They'll open the book and write it and upload again back into the Google Classroom. Okay, so that makes it very lazy, right? Okay, after some days they may not they may forgot the spellings and grammar, everything, right? Okay, so if you want you can write it. Okay, even from past 2 years we are not using board. Okay, from past 2 years or 2.5 years I'm not using board. Why? Because if I write on a board, these people cannot see it, right? Okay, so that's the reason my board is paintbrush only. Okay, my board is paintbrush only. So everything I'll draw in paintbrush. Otherwise, I used to tell everything on the board. Okay. Yes. Anyway, no problem. Okay. Yes. Now the programming languages understood by computer or computer understandable languages are called low level languages. These are called as native languages. Okay. Low level languages are so low level languages are native languages. Native languages. These are nothing but like mother tongue. Okay, native languages are the same thing. You call it as machine related languages. It means you have a different machines. You have a different types of machines, right? You have a different types of machines. For example, this is one machine. This is one computer. Okay, assume that this is another computer. Okay, this is one computer, right? This is one computer. Sorry. Okay, this is one computer, and this is another computer. Okay, now two computers are there, and this computer is having 8086 processor. What is 8086 here? Microprocessor. Okay, it is a processor. It means this machine is called as 8086 machine. And assume that there is another machine which is called as 80286. There are two types of machines are there. One is 8086 and there is one more machine called 80286. Now 8086 machine, see there are two persons. There are two persons. Here this is a person. Okay, this is a person who lives in. This is one person who lives in. Okay, this is a person who lives in what? Maharashtra. Okay. This person lives in what here? Maharashtra. And there is one more person who lives in. There's one more person who lives in. Okay, this is another person who lives in here. Okay, who lives in Telangana, right? This person lives in what here? Telangana. Okay, this person lives in Maharashtra and this person lives in what? Telangana. The person who lives in Maharashtra, he knows which language? He knows which language? Marathi. He knows which language? Marathi. The person who lives in Telangana, he knows which language? Telugu. Tamila. Telugu, yeah. Okay. Okay. This person knows Marathi and this person knows what? Telugu. I mean, if you take this one machine, this is one machine. if you take this Maharashtra is one machine, and this machine is having a processor. This person is what here? Processor. This processor understand which language? Marathi language. And if you take this is one machine, and this is having one processor, and this processor understand which language? Telugu. Okay, it means if you take this is a processor, this is one processor and this is one processor. This processor understand which one? Marathi language. And this processor understand which language? Telugu language. But both are languages only. Okay. Now if you take this 8086 is one processor and 80286 is what? Another processor. Then I can call this computer as which computer? 80286 computer, 8086 computer or 8086 machine. This is called as 8086 machine. And this is called as 80286 machine. Okay, this is 8086 machine and this is called 80286 machine. Then 8086 machine understand which language? 8086 language. 8086 machine understand which language? 8086 machine language. And 80286 understand which language? 80286 machine language. If I want to write the program, if I want to write the code on 8086 machine, I must know which language? 8086 machine language. I should know which language? 8086 machine language. If I want to write the code on 80286 machine, I must know 80286 machine language. It means machine languages are machine dependent or not? Yes. It means using 8086 machine language. See here, every processor is having his own instruction set. Every processor is having his own instruction set. Every processor is having his own instruction set. Okay, 8086 is having his own instruction set. 80286 is having his own instruction set. So using the instructions of 8086 machine language, I can code only on which machines? 8086. And using 80286 machine language, I can code only on which machines? 80286. Assume that you have some 100 processors, 100 different processors. If I want to write a program on different machines, I need to learn how many languages? 100 languages. Yes or no? Okay. It means, suppose I know 8086 machine language. Using this 8086 machine language, can I code on 80286? No. Using 80286 machine language, can I code on 8086? No, I cannot do it. Why? Because the instructions might be various from one machine toward another. And it is only a language which understand by the machine. Which language is understand by the machine? Machine understand only one language. What is that? Machine language, which is given in the form of zeros and ones. It is a machine language which is given in the form of zeros and ones, right? Zeros and ones, machine language. So machine language, just try to understand. Machine language means the language which understand by the computer. The language which understand by the computer. Every computer is having his own instruction set. Every computer is having his own instruction set. Every computer is having his own instruction set, right? So what is that? Machine language. Okay, machine language, just try to understand. A programming language which understand by computer, which understand by computer or machine, which understand by computer or machine is called which language? Machine language. Machine language instructions. Machine language instructions are in what? Zeros and what? Ones. And machine language instructions, machine language instructions, okay, are machine what? Dependent. Machine dependent, or you can call it as machine dependent or non-portable. Machine language instructions are machine dependent or what? Non-portable. Non-portable. Just try to understand. Machine language instructions are machine dependent or non-portable. Means using 8086 machine. Yeah, all these notes I'll send in Telegram. Using 8086 machine language, I can code only on which machine? 8086. Using 80286 machine language, I can code only on which machine? 80286. But using 80286 machine language, I cannot do the code on which one? 8086. Using 8086 machine language, I cannot code on which one? 80286. No, because these are machine, these are what? Machine dependent. These are machine dependent. Okay, but the problem with this machine language is not easy to understand. Problem, okay, problems with, okay, problem with machine language are, first one is not easy to what? Understand, because everything is given in zeros and everything is given in zeros and ones, and not easy to understand. These are not easy to understand, and these are non portable. Okay, not easy to understand and non portable or hardware what? Dependent. Okay, non portable and hardware dependent. But what is the advantage of machine languages? What is the advantage of machine languages? Not required. Okay, not required any translator, not required any translator. And these programs, these instructions are executed directly by, are executed directly by which one? Processor. Okay, not required any translator, not required any translator. So what is the problem with machine language? Not easy to understand and non-portable or hardware dependent. But what is the advantage of machine language? Not required any translator. These instructions are executed directly by processor. Yes, machine language not required compilers and interpreters. Yes, very good. Yeah, not required any translators. These not required any translators. Not required any translators. Okay. So, but understanding machine language is somewhat difficult, right? Because of that, to make this machine language instructions easy, okay, there is another type of machine language. And what is it? Another type of machine language is assembly language. So in machine language, how you are giving the instructions? In machine language, how you are giving the instructions? In zeros and ones. In machine language, how you are giving the instructions? In zeros and ones. But assembly language is also a machine language. Assembly language is one type of our assembly language is a machine language. Assembly language is also a machine language, I can say. But assembly language is a machine language, but instructions are given, in the form of what do you call it as mnemonics. Okay, the instructions are given in the form of what? Mnemonics. This mnemonics are nothing but here verbs. This mnemonics are nothing but what here? Verbs. For example, 8086 machine language. For 8086 machine language, there will be 8086 which language? Assembly language. For 8088 machine language, there is 8088. What is that? Assembly language. In machine language, the instructions are given in the form of zeros and ones. If I write 101011, can you able to understand this? No. For every machine language instruction, there is equivalent which language? Assembly language instruction. Okay, suppose 10101011 indicates what here? Move. Okay, assume that there is 111 and there is 000. This indicates what here? Load. So for every machine language instruction, there is equivalent which one? Assembly language. It means machine language and assembly language both are low level. For every machine language, there is assembly language. For every machine language, there is what? Assembly language. But why they develop assembly language? To understand machine language what? Easy. Because it is somewhat difficult to understand which one? Zeros and ones. Because of that, every assembly language instruction, there is equivalent which one? Mnemonic. And that mnemonic is called which language? Assembly language. That mnemonic is called as which language? Assembly language. Okay, suppose this is assume that this is the instruction which belongs to what? Okay, initialize. Okay, now this is the instruction. Okay, 1010 1011. Assume that this instruction belongs to which one? Load. Means every machine language there is equivalent which language? Assembly language. But is it machine language and assembly language both are same or different? Assembly language and machine language both are same or different? Same. But only the thing is, here you are writing in zeros and ones, but here you are writing in what? Mnemonics. Here you are writing in zeros and ones, but here you are writing in which one? Mnemonics. But is it computer understand assembly language? Is it computer understand assembly language? Is it computer understand assembly language or machine language? Machine language. But you are giving the instructions in which language? Assembly language. Okay, now you need to convert this assembly language instructions into what? Machine language. To convert this assembly language instructions to a machine language, you'll be using one translator. You'll be using one translator. And what is a translator? Assembler. Assembler. Every processor will have assembler. So that will translate the assembly language instructions into which language? Machine language. Assembler is a translator. Assembler is a translator. See, why I'm telling all this? Because at fresher level, all these are important. At fresher level, all these are important because what will happen is when you attend some interviews, okay, they may ask you, tell me translators. What is the difference between compiler and what? Interpreter. What is the difference between compiler and interpreter? What is the difference between compiler, interpreter, and assembler? Okay, sometimes you never expect such questions like, suppose in your resume you put I know Python, C, C++. In your resume you put I know Python and C. He may ask you the question, what is the difference between Python and C? The first question is, what is the difference between Python and what? C. Or sometimes you may ask the question, tell me about Python. But generally you prepare, tell me about yourself, right? But you never expect that, tell me about Python. If an interviewer asks you, tell me about Python, he is not asked to tell me about some program, no? Okay, he asked to tell me about Python. Tell me about Python means what you tell you about Python? You have to tell the complete information about which one? Python. So what is Python is? Where Python is used is? Why Python is so popular? What is the advantage of using Python? What is the syntax of Python? Which companies are using Python? You have to tell all these things. When you tell all these things, then you'll realize that you know something about which one? Python. Getting or not? So everything you have to learn from fundamentals. It is not like directly writing a program. I'm not writing a program directly saying print hello Python. In the first class, I'm not writing a program saying print hello Python, right? But most of the students, what they ask me is, when you start writing programs today also will start, but you should know what is the strength of the language. Until unless you don't know the strength of the language, you cannot enjoy. If somebody is asked why you are learning Python, you should be able to tell. And not only that, I'll try to give you a subject in such a way that you can teach to other people also. That much subject I'll give you. You complete Python, you can teach your friend also. That much subject I'll give you, and everything will see in detail. Everything we'll see in detail. Don't worry about the subject. 100% I'll give you the subject. Now, this is not my first class. I'm with Naresh Reddy from past 15, 16 years. Now, I started with C, teaching C, data structures, C++, Java, core Java, advanced Java. Now I'm teaching Python also. So many projects, academic projects, so many things I've given to the students. Okay, so don't worry about the subject. I'll try to give you 100% subject. Don't worry about that. Okay, even anything you want in C, C++, Java, not only Python. I said, no, anything you required like technical support or anything, you can just put a message. Okay, even this is my mail ID. Okay, this is my mail ID. Okay, so this is my mail ID. This is Python mail ID. Python by gupta@gmail.com. This is my mail ID. Any technical related queries or any help you wanted like projects or anything, okay, you can just mail me. No, nowadays, when I give this, right, okay, student, nowadays everything is online, right? Okay, online means there is one interview. Interview is there, or technical, you have to write one program. You have to write a program or not? Yes. I'm in the class. I'm in the class. Okay. I'm in the class. What he'll do is he'll just capture the screen and send it. So tell me the answer. Right, I'm in the class means no, I'm writing exam. You have to tell the answer. You said no, you'll help me. You said you will help me. I said I'm in the class, I cannot do now. Give me some time is no, I have to submit within 1 hour. I don't have time. You try to give some time. Assignments, any assignment is there, give me some time. Because I have a batches from morning to evening 9 o'clock. I'll take 6 batches. So continuously I'll have the batches. So if you give some time, definitely I'll help you. But don't give me a half an hour time or 1 hour time and ask me to solve it. So that is again one more problem with the student. If I don't solve it, he'll think that Saris said he'll help, but he's not help. Yes or no? Okay, give me some time because if I'm in the class, I cannot do anything. Okay, if I'm there in the class, I cannot do anything. Otherwise, I'll help you in all the things like getting job or everything. I'll help you. Assignments or anything is there. You just post me. This is my mail ID. This is my mail ID. Post me, but give me some time. Okay, don't give half an hour or 10 minutes and ask me to solve it. I can solve it, but I'll be in the class. I'll be in the classes. So if I'm in the classes, I cannot respond it, right? Okay. Yes, any projects or anything is there, you just mail me. Definitely I'll try to solve it and give it to you. Okay. Any academic projects or anything you want it, just mail me. I'll try to help you. Right? Okay. Let us talk about assembler. Assembler is a translator. Assembler is a translator. Assembler is now this is my code with how many times here? This is my telegram. This is my telegram, Ashia Padima. This is my telegram. Okay. Yes. C is small. Assembler is a translator which translates or convert. Okay, assembler is a translator. Translator, what is translator? Is it translator is a hardware or software? Is it translator is a hardware or software? Software. What is a translator? Translator is a software which translate the instructions of one language toward another language. Translator is a software which translates the instructions of one language to another language, which translates the instructions of one language to another. You download Telegram only here. Which app means Telegram is app like WhatsApp. Telegram is also apps. You don't know Telegram here? What? I'll try to upload these notes in Telegram. Okay. Yeah, I'll share it. See this starting classes videos, I'll share it. Up to 10 classes, I'll share. Up to 10 classes, I'll share. But after 10 classes, I won't share it. Okay, videos, I'll share it. Up to 10 classes, I'll share it. Okay, after 10 classes, I don't share it. Okay, so beginning classes, I'll share it. Don't worry about that. Beginning classes, I'll share it so that you can understand the technology, right? Okay. Assembler is a translator which translates or convert instructions of which language? Assembly language into what? Machine language. Assembler is a translator which translates the instructions of which language? Assembly language into which language? Machine language. Machine language. It means assembler is used only with which language? Assembly language. Assembler is used only with which language? Assembly language. It means you find different types of assemblers. You find different types of assemblers. For example, this is, okay, assume that this is one machine. Okay, just try to understand. Okay, this is 8086 machine. 8086 machine required which language here? 80. Now this is 8086 machine language. And this is 8086 processor. This is 8086 processor or not? Yes, this is 8086 processor and 8086 machine language. And here 8086, what is this 8086? Assembler. What is this 8086 here? Assembler. 8086 assembler. And there is a 8086 which language? Assembly language. 8086 assembly language here. Assembly language. 8086 assembly language instructions translated by 8086 assembler into which language? 8086 machine language, which is understood by which processor? 8086. It means 8086 assembly language understood by 8086 assembler, which translate this 8086 assembly language instructions into which language? 8086 machine language, which understand by which processor? 8086. In the same way, now it means either it is assembly language or machine language. All these are machine dependent. All these are machine dependent. What is the advantage? Advantage of assembly language. Advantage of assembly language is easy to what? Understand. Easy to understand compared to which language? Machine language. But is this assembly language and machine language both are same or not? Yes. Only the difference is here you are writing in zeros and ones. Okay, here you are writing in zeros and ones, and here you are writing in what? Mnemonics. No. See, developing or writing the code in machine language required other devices. Yes. See, you are talking about Raghu Unnam, right? That is different. What you are talking about is different. Now, there is no universal assembler which compatible to more hardwares. No. Okay. Yes. So the problem with the low-level languages are the problem with low-level languages are all these languages are machine. What is this? Machine dependent. Machine dependent or non what? Portable. To avoid this, okay, to avoid this, no, nowadays nobody uses machine language. In the place of machine language, they'll use which one? Assembly language. Nowadays people start Nowadays, people develop system softwares using which language? Assembly language. Okay. Low level means computer understandable language. Native languages are called low level languages. Native languages. What is your native mother tongue? Okay, your mother tongue is Telugu. Then that is called as low level. Okay. So whatever languages which understand by the computer, that you call it as which one? Low level languages. And these low level languages are represented by using some codes. Low level languages are represented by using codes, and these are understood by only machines, right? One is zeros and ones, and one more is mnemonics. To overcome this, I want one language which can be used to write a program on any machine. For example, using 8086 machine, for example, using 8086 machine, I can write a program on 8086, and using 8088 machine, I can write a program on 8088. Okay, but I want a language which can be used to write. Suppose this is 8086, right? To write the code on 8086, I must know which language? 8086 language. To write a program on 8088, I must know which language? 8088 language. Okay, 8088 language. After compile, that is what I'm telling you. Just listen, Sharma. Just listen. 8086 language is used to write a code on 8086, and 8088 language. That is what I tell you, Raj Kumar. Low level languages are native languages which understand by the computer. Computer understandable languages are called low level languages. Tell me, Raj Kumar, what is meaning of mother tongue? What is mother tongue? What is mother tongue? Yeah. Raj Kumar, what is your mother tongue? Respond. Arre. Why you are not responding? Raj Kumar, he just firing the question but is not answering it. Raj Kumar, Telugu ఇంతసేపా మరి మాతృభాష. Mother tongue means matrubhasha. Yes. So here also mother tongue means here 8086 language is a mother tongue of which processor? 8086. Okay. So motherboard, processor, yes, processor. I should tell like this, no. Yes. Telugu is a native language. Yes, Swaroop, very good. Telugu is my native language. That is low level language. Very good. Yes, you have to understand like this, right? Yes. 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 Okay, na? Who is this? Where is this person? Raj Kumar. Understood? Who is Raj Kumar? Understood? Not like this here. So suppose to write a program on 8086, I should know 8086 language. To write a program on 8088, I need to know 8088 language. But I want a language which can be used to write a program on any machine. Okay, for writing a code on 8086, I must learn 8086. To write a program on 8088, I must learn which one? 8088. But I want a language that can be used to write a program on any machine. I want a language that can be used to write a program on what? Any machine. Then they invented which languages? Which languages? High level languages like C, C++. Now tell me, is it computer understands C, C++? No. Using C, C++, I can write a program on. Using C, C++, I can write a program on 8086 machine. Using C, C++, I can write a program on 8088 machine. But what you required here? Is it computer understand 808? Is it computer understand C, C++? No. Using C, C++, I can write a program on any machine. But what I require to translate here, translator. What I required to make understand, I required translators. That is where you'll use compilers and what? Interpreters. So what is the advantage of high level languages are? Why it is called as a high level languages? Because yes, high level languages are human understandable languages. Low level languages are computer understandable languages. Low level language Low level languages are computer understandable languages. High level languages are user understandable languages. Because these are in what here? English. These are in English like languages. But is it computer understand C, C++, Java, Python? No. To make this language instructions understand by the computer, you'll be using some translators, and there is a translators like what? Interpreter, and one more is what? Compiler. Okay. Now let us talk about this. What is high level language? Okay. And we'll try to see introduction to translators and what is the difference between compiler and interpreter, and even I'll tell you what is the meaning of scripting language. What is the difference between programming language and scripting language? But we'll try to see all these things, but tomorrow we'll see. Okay. Today we'll just stop it here, and tomorrow we'll continue with introduction to translators and high level programming languages. And once we complete this chapter, then we'll go for introduction to Python, right? So we'll stop it here, and these notes I'll upload in the Telegram. You can just download it, right? So thank you. We'll see tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll share in the Telegram. I'll share in the Telegram. This is my Telegram ID. This is Telegram ID.
It's like we are in 3 months now, so they sent you many projects. We are getting two problems like data emotions module and module, and middle module is not able to import.
It is done in which language? Python, huh?
Yes,
Python. You get it? Sure. These are not demo classes. All these are regular classes only. So syllabus, I'll try to put in chart window. I mean, in the Telegram, I'll upload the syllabus. Thank you. Okay. Tell me. But you have to show some experience, right? You have to show some projects and experience. Because 2014, you said, no? 2014. Almost 6. Okay, silly. Your background is BSc. काम करिए आप पाइथन सीख के बाद ये एनालिटिक टूल्स रहते हैं कैसे लाइक बिजनेस एनालिटिक्स टूल्स रहते हैं लाइक टैबलेट ओके पावर बीआई ओके पूरा बिजनेस एंड डेटा एनालिस्ट टूल्स रहता वो पूरे सीख लीजिए आप then definitely get the job because you have a lot of gap, right? So that gap you have to show, otherwise it will become very difficult. So that is what I'm telling. See, you can do the courses, but the problem is you have to show that gap. Okay, what you have done this many number of years. You cannot tell like I'm prepared for a civils, right? Okay, you have to put at least 4 years or 3 years experience. Yes. Same times, like 7 a.m. only. I don't think so. Okay, if you want to move, yes, that is a problem. See, gap you have, if you are able to show the gap, then no problem. You put at least some 4 years experience. Then remaining 4 years, you can tell that like prepared for civils. Then that will be okay. 4 years means huge experience. Same as 4 years means you'll be in senior software engineer that level, team leader that level, right? So that much knowledge you should have it. If you are able to show that gap and experience, if you have very good consultancy, then definitely you can get into software field. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Okay. Any other courses means see non-programming means you can move to AWS DevOps. But even though you are not a fresher, right? You cannot apply as a fresher. That is a problem. I'm telling you. Yeah, on Power BI, Tableau. Okay, even bond. Yes, yes. If you are able to tell, oh, वैसे experience लगाना चाह रहे तो no problem. You'll get the job easily.
GUI got UI and brain.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll tell you some more queries. Tomorrow I'll take some queries. Okay. So this is my Telegram ID, Code with Satish Gupta. Okay, tomorrow I'll take some more queries. Okay, today I'll just stop here. Tomorrow I'll take your queries. Online students, tomorrow I'll take your queries. Okay. So Python by Gupta. Okay, tomorrow I'll take your queries. Today I'm taking offline students queries. Tomorrow I'll take your queries. Okay. Thank you.